the first major free agent may be off the market, and the Mariners are reportedly finalizing a deal with first baseman Josh Naylor. Seattle acquired Naylor from the Diamondbacks before the trade deadline, and they apparently want to keep him around. The deal is in the range, reportedly, between $90 and $100 million over 5 years. Well, when the deal is finalized, it'll be the third richest in Seattle Mariners history. Only Robinson Cano and Robbie Ray have gotten paid more. So, Case, why is he a difference maker in the Mariners lineup?
Well, you know what, Sarah, when you go back to the deadline last year, you looked at the Mariners, they got the pitching again. They got the rotation, they got the bullpen, but they don't have the bats. And then they went out and got Naylor and Suarez. And it turns out Naylor was probably the guy that changed everything, and it had that run where they almost got to the World Series. So when I saw this sign, I just thought to myself, man, this makes a ton of sense. For me, Naylor's a guy that he hits for average, hits for power, stealing some bases this year, which I thought was incredible. And Sarah, when you look back at the postseason too, he was a guy that came up with some big hits. So it's a great sign. Jerry DiPoto knew that this was a piece they didn't want to lose, and it's just a great sign.
So Josh Naylor is just the fourth first baseman ever to have a 20 homer and 30 steal season. But Sean, he's in the third percentile in all of baseball in sprint speed. Okay, so can you help me out here? Why is he so sneaky good on the base pass?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing with him was just probably the reads reading the pitcher and getting huge jumps. If you watch his game, for him to have 30 stolen bases this year is absolutely incredible. But it was a lot of him just getting big jumps and taking some shots and taking some chances. But his all-around game, Sierra, I think we really, all of us on a national stage, got to really look and see, who this guy is. I think when you look at him as a hitter, this guy can flat out hit. Oh, he's around 300 every year. He's a line-to-line guy, but he's started to develop this too. Hit over 20 home runs this season, right at 20 home runs. This is a guy that can hit the ball at the ballpark, and you need that in Seattle. And I think his power is getting better as he gets older. I really do. And one of the things also, too, listen, this guy can play some defense over there, some good footwork, not incredible defensive metrics, but when you watch this guy play, you can see he picks it out of the dirt. He does a great job defensively with, listen, as a good first baseman, for the guys in the infield, they want to know if they put it in the ground, can you dig it out for him? And he does that. And then this one right here, man, just to see 30 stolen bases from Josh Naylor, like you said, not one of the fastest guys in baseball. As a matter of fact, the metrics say one of the slowest, but that doesn't matter. With base running, he's one of the smartest, and he finds ways to get those jumps and to really get out there. And I think when you look back at this postseason is where we all started to say, man, this is almost a guy the Mariners can't lose. He had a big double play right there. He had the stolen base here late in against Detroit, had this big home run right here against Toronto, and we saw right here, Game 7 with the big single to put him up early. He was doing some things where you had to say, you know what, DiPoto's got to find a way. Look at this right here. This is an incredible stat. First baseman with 20 home runs and 30 stolen bases in a single season. Goldschmidt, Jeff Bagwell did it twice, and Joe Carter, good job, Joe, 40 years ago back in '87. So that's not something you usually see. 20 home runs and 30 stolen bases.
Hasn't been done in 9 seasons.
Nice, exactly. This is a great sign. Jerry DiPoto nailed this one.
And he's a long-term solution for the Seattle Mariners at first base. But one of the things that you kind of looked at the two guys that went over there between Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor. You thought that Gino was going to continue that torrid pace that he was on at first base. And then you look at free agents, and Suarez and Jorge Polanco, they are also free agents. So what are the Mariners' other off-season needs that they have to address?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is, if you don't bring back Gino, and this obviously is a big sign for the Mariners, one of the biggest free agent signs. I mean, you got to figure out how to replace him at third base. Cole Young's a young kid that came up and did pretty well. He might be a guy that you give some more time to. Jorge Polanco is not going to be coming back. I mean, you're losing a lot of production with Polanco and Suarez if those guys both walk. Never know. Polanco could come back, and you never know. But I think when you look at the Mariners and you look at what they have, I mean, look at these free agents. I mean, Mitch Garver's going to be gone. That's not a big hit. Luke Jackson, Ferguson was a good lefty out of the pen, but Polanco and Suarez. But listen, they have 8 prospects in the top 100. And I think these guys are going to factor in when you talk about they got a few pitchers. Colt Emerson's a nice shortstop, third baseman there, sitting there at AAA. He could get a shot. So they have some real prospects, Sierra, that they could either call up or they could trade.
Are they done spending?
I don't think they're done spending. I really don't. I don't think they're done spending. I think they need some other pieces. Jerry knows it, and they know they're close. When you have that kind of pitching they have, listen, there's a short window. You got to go for it right now.